Hello, my friends. Welcome to this live broadcast. Come on in, come join. I am waiting for you from downtown Jerusalem. I'm so happy to bring you guys here. You have no idea. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rodrigo. I am part of the Amiel team, and I am so very honored to be a part of this joint venture between Fellowship Travel International and Amiel Tours. And boy, am I happy because it fell upon me to bring you guys on this live broadcast from downtown Jerusalem, which is exactly where I am. I've been watching every other live broadcast that has happened in this series, and every guide took you to such an incredible location, and every one of them was different. And I just, I decided to shake things up a little bit. And so I'm sitting at my favorite coffee shop in Jerusalem. It's called the Coffee Bean. And it has a very, very delicious iced latte, which is what I'm having right now. And I hope you guys are also enjoying some coffee or a tea or something. And we're going to spend some time in downtown Jerusalem. I'll talk to you guys for a little bit, and then in a few minutes I will pick up this camera and take you on a walk with me through this part. I'll tell you. Wait, let me drink my coffee first. Anyway, so I was saying, being a tour guide here in Israel it really is quite something, because we get to walk with people while they are experiencing some of the most significant moments of their lives. Usually, a trip to the Holy Land is someone's trip of a lifetime. You know what I mean? It changes them from the inside out. It gives them fresh perspective. It stirs up their faith. It excites them. It connects them with their families. I mean, it's such a beautiful experience. And we get to live so many of these quote unquote holy moments in some sites that are obvious, I would say. For example, when we're visiting the Galilee and we're walking around the places where Jesus lived his life and his ministry and where he performed so many of his miracles, I mean, that is obviously significant and incredible and impactful. Whenever we're in front of the Western Wall in the old city of Jerusalem, it's also just, fantastic. Or if we're visiting some archaeological biblical site, this is, it's, of course, these places are remarkable. Oh, look, the train's coming by. Okay, that wasn't so loud. It's okay. So, of course, these places are incredible. They're remarkable, and they leave a mark in everyone's memories when they come here. But I'll tell you personally, one of my favorite things to do whenever I'm guiding a group is to arrange with everyone after everyone is back at the hotel, and okay, you're tired, okay, it was a long day, okay, we walked so much, I get that, but you know what? Hop on a shower, get freshen up, change, and then let's go out and explore the new part of Jerusalem, the new city, which is where we're at right now. I'm actually, this street is called Jaffa Street. It connected the Jaffa Gate, which is one of the main entrance points to the city of Jerusalem. And it would go, it's a road that would go all the way from the Jaffa Gate all the way to the Jaffa Port, which is in Tel Aviv. And this is pretty much one of the main arteries going in and out of Jerusalem since the days of old. But today, this is probably one of the places where I get to be amazed the most at how much the Bible is coming alive. Another train is coming by. Okay. So like I was saying, this is one of the places where I get to experience the most the Bible coming alive. And I understand that it's not necessarily an obvious place, but I'll move from this road in just a minute, okay? But I want to share with you a passage of scripture that I think is just one of the most significant things we could read while being in Jerusalem. So this is in Zechariah chapter 8. And look at this. These are such beautiful words. It says, "The word of the Lord Almighty came to me." And this is what the Lord says. "I will return to Zion and dwell in Jerusalem. Then Jerusalem will be called the faithful city, and the mountain of the Lord Almighty would be called the holy mountain." This is what the Lord Almighty says. "Once again, men and women of ripe old age will sit in the streets of Jerusalem, each of them with a cane in hand because of their age. The city streets will be filled with boys and girls playing there." This is what the Lord Almighty says. "It may seem marvelous to the remnant of this people at that time, but will it seem marvelous to me, declares the Lord Almighty?" This is what the Lord Almighty says. "I will save my people from the countries of the east and the west, and I will bring them back to live in Jerusalem. They will be my people, and I will be faithful and righteous to them as their God." I love this, because here we are. I mean, look around me. I chose this place on purpose because the trains coming by, and young people driving by in their little scooters, and I am absolutely surrounded by the fulfillment of this prophecy. I am surrounded by young boys and young girls drinking their coffees, talking, enjoying their lives. This is the end of the afternoon on a September day. The weather is absolutely lovely. There are a bunch of elderly people walking around because Jerusalem is safe. And if you still had any reason to be a skeptic, this should be the evidence. This should be the evidence that the Bible is real, my friends. This is just incredible, because it's not really what you would expect. It is so profoundly foundational as a statement to God's faithfulness to the people of Israel, to the fulfillment of His word, and therefore to all of humanity, right? This is the point. I mean, I hope you're getting my excitement from this, because standing on these streets is evidence that God is real, and it's evidence that His word is true. And there's nothing in this universe that excites me more than that. So, without further ado, what I want to do right now is I want to detach the camera from this tripod. Hold on to your seats. Oh, there we go. and I want to take you with me on a little walk in downtown Jerusalem. Wait, I'm doing this as a one-man band today, so I hope you forgive me. So I will do this. I am going to flip my camera around. So again, hold on to your seats. Here we go. There we are. Here is Jaffa Street, my friends. This is Jerusalem. End of the afternoon. The young and the old walking around in safety, enjoying a cup of coffee, doing a little shopping, eating some falafel. How's it going? I'm doing good, my friend. How are you? People are nice here, by the way. And now I'm gonna flip you over again. Hold on to your seats one more time. Hey, I'm back. So I want to actually take you guys to Ben Yehuda Street, which again is, this is just the very living heart of the modern city of Jerusalem. I'm still enjoying my iced coffee. As you can see, there's a lot of police forces around us all the time, because this city is so incredibly safe. There are officers of the law protecting us and keeping us guarded at every hour of the day. This is just one of those places where you can walk around at any given time and just feel like you're walking around in your backyard. It's just incredible. Look. I'm going to show you a typical scene of Ben Yehuda Street. Take a look at this. היי, תודה רבה.
מה זה מצלמה?
מצלמה, כן. So, and this is one of those places where I tell you that you have to, whenever you come, you have to get out of your hotel at night and come walk around on this little street. You'll always find like street art and musicians playing and people enjoying themselves. Again, it's probably my favorite activity to do whenever I am out and about in Jerusalem, is just to come to this little street. Every corner has one falafel better than the other. And if you haven't had proper Israeli falafel and hummus, my friends, my American friends, you don't know what you're missing, okay? This is just a whole different ball game. This is the middle of the week, mind you, right? So it's not the weekend or anything, and yet the street is packed with people. The more we go deeper into the late evening and the night, it'll become even better. People kind of tend to flock to this portion of the city to enjoy their evening, and it's all very family friendly. It's all, I mean, I know I am, I'm biased, but this is my favorite city on the planet. Look, I'm gonna flip you guys over one more time. I'll flip the camera just so you get a sense of the vibe here. Look. Plus, you can do a whole lot of shopping if you so desire. Isn't this great? Okay. Now, I will go with you to one of my favorite little spots, and I'm going to share something with you, a little travel tip that I will not gatekeep. And this is also not a sponsored live broadcast by this thing that I'll share with you right now. But anyway. I love that, whenever you're walking around here, you can hear about 100 different languages and different musical styles being blasted out from speakers all over the place. And you can see, Christians from every denomination under the sun, as well as Jews of every flavor and Muslims of every flavor, just walking around, living life together, enjoying this city. It's so unique. It's so messy in the most lovely kind of way. Hey, let me know in the chat who has been here before. And if you've been here before, tell me how much you miss it. Because I'll tell you something, there is not one single person that I've met that has come to Jerusalem who doesn't want to come back. So look, we're coming up to one of the most charming little streets in downtown Jerusalem. Look at this. I'm gonna flip the camera around one more time. I hope you don't get motion sickness. There we are. Look at the umbrellas. I love this little street, guys. This is just amazing. So here is what I don't want to gatekeep from you guys. Look at this. This is called Sushi Place. It's right on this little corner off of Ben Yehuda Street. Ben Yehuda Street is over there. This street is called Yoel Moshe Solomon, and this sushi place, it has the best poke bowls in this country. So now you know. If we keep walking all the way to the end of this little street here, we'll get to the Friends of Zion Museum, and then also to the Tolerance Museum, which is a brand new museum that was just inaugurated, and it is something quite remarkable that you'll be able to visit whenever you're coming to Jerusalem next time. This is it's basically a museum that celebrates the story or the history of Jews and Christians and Muslims finding ways to live together. Okay, so I want to sit here for a moment and continue talking to y'all a little bit more. So here's why I love this so much. If we're considering the history of the Jewish people and looking back at those words of the prophet that I just read to you, Prophet Zechariah was prophesying to the nation of Israel after the Babylonian exile, while the people were in the process of rebuilding their lives, rebuilding a nation out of the ashes. And these words, they're, words of so much comfort that he would say to them, look, this is God's promise. This city is his city. It will be safe for old men, old women, for young boys, young girls. It'll be safe for the most vulnerable among you. It'll be a city of joy. And in a way, we're living in a moment that is so parallel to that story. The Jewish people are coming back to this land after a diaspora that lasted for, roughly 2,000 years. Can a nation be born in a day? And we know the answer to that. The answer is yes. I mean, look around, right? But in the process of rebuilding, in the process of building our lives here, in the process of establishing roots, or I would say rather reconnecting to our roots that are firmly planted on the ground right beneath my feet here. The people of Israel need encouragement because returning from exile is hard. And when I read the pages of Scripture today, and I read the words of this, of the prophetic ministry of these prophets who were saying, just keep going, guys, because this city was chosen. And the reason why you have to say something like that is because it's not always obvious, right? It's not always obvious that the essence of Jerusalem, the name Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, it's a combination of two root words in Hebrew, which could loosely, basically be translated as the foundation of peace. I mean, this peace is the point of this city. The feeling of peace and security is the reason why there is a Jerusalem. In periods of time like the one we've been living for the past 2 years, we need to be reminded of that. And maybe you out there also need to be reminded of that God's covenant with the city of Jerusalem is real. And here it is. Here's the evidence. Look, it's all around me. It's coming alive. There are little benches where I can sit down and do a live broadcast to folks from America and talk about this. Isn't that? I mean, this is a miracle, I'm telling you. And then if you would allow me to say one more thing. One of my favorite verses in the New Testament is in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 22, if I'm not mistaken, in which the writer of Hebrews, he's talking to the Hebrews, right? To the Jews in the specific case of the book, to the Jews who had become a part of the community of believers in Yeshua, in Jesus. And he says, look, we have not come to a mountain that is flaming up, that is shaking, that nobody can even touch it, otherwise they'll die. We've not come to Mount Sinai. We've come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God. And throughout the history of the Jewish people, I know this is in the New Testament, but this is such a Jewish idea in essence. The whole reason why Mount Sinai happened, why we received the Torah, why Moses and the elders had that incredible revelation of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, of God. The reason for all of that was to take this people and bring them into this city. Bring them here, to live here, to build their houses. I mean, all throughout the Torah, right now we're actually reading the book of Deuteronomy in our weekly Torah portions in synagogues all around the world. And the whole book of Deuteronomy is Moses speaking to the children of Israel, saying, look, you're going to go into the land. You're going to take possession of it, and you're going to build your lives. You're going to build houses, and you're going to plant vineyards, and you're going to build cities. And here's what you need to know so you can live properly, right? So the whole point wasn't for the people of Israel to remain around Mount Sinai, circling in the desert. The whole point of our story was to come to Mount Zion. And again, Mount Zion is the biblical way to refer to the city of Jerusalem. Nowadays, the western hill of Jerusalem, just one portion of Jerusalem, is called Mount Zion, but that's a much, much later change. Traditionally, the city of Jerusalem is called Zion. And so I love that the writer of Hebrews is saying, look, the point of this thing isn't Sinai. And in Sinai, there were some quite obvious and clear signs of God, right? Of miracles. I mean, the mountain was shaking. There was fire, and God's voice was heard audibly. I mean, all of these incredible things. But the point of all of it was Zion. And Mount Zion is a city. Do you see? I'll look. Wait. Try to move my camera. Look, this is Mount Zion. This is Mount Zion, my friends. This is it. It's these streets, this people. So this is one of my favorite things to tell my Christian friends that come to visit here, Jerusalem. I think, I have this thesis, let's say, that the nation of Israel and the people of Israel are a living parable. They're a living, walking way for God to communicate to humanity. This is true in biblical times. I mean, the history of the people of Israel this is the foundation of every Bible story. But I believe it's also true today. Things happening in Israel and with the Jewish people today continue to teach us, continue to allow us to see things from a little bit of a more clear perspective. And there are lessons that we can take to our personal lives. So what I tell my Christian friends when they come to visit Jerusalem is I say, look, the point of this place is for you to remember that the mundane, the stores and the supermarkets and the getting up and going to work and raising your kids and building your house and planting your vineyard and taking care of your things and doing what's right to your neighbor, doing what's right, to your parents, like the simple, mundane. That is it. That is the point. That's why we lived through Sinai. It's so we could come to Mount Zion. And Mount Zion is not shaking. It's not, you can't see the fire. You can't see the cloud. You can't see the miracles. It's just daily life. It's just waking up in the morning and taking your kids to school. It's just the simple. But the simple is the point. And so in our little tour of Jerusalem today, I hope you take this, take this message from the parable that is Jerusalem still today. The simple, the mundane is the point. And now I will try to look at the live stream and fish up a few questions that I can answer. I'm going to sit back down. I'm so sorry that I'm moving so much, but I told you guys again, today I'm doing this on my own. So, okay, here's an interesting one. Has the atmosphere in Jerusalem changed after October 7th? Wow. Okay. So the answer is obviously yes. Okay? Especially, in the days and weeks and months right after October 7th, I think the atmosphere all throughout the country was very heavy and very, very difficult. Now, things are, for all intents and purposes, back to normal. Of course, we still have, at the point of this recording, we still have 48 hostages in Gaza, so our hearts are still with them, and we're praying for their release all the time. And there's still a situation going on the Gaza Strip, but our daily lives as Israelis, things are normal. But I think that October 7th changed us forever. And, it was terrible, it was tragic. But I am a hopeless optimistic. I tend to look for the good and the beauty in everything. And so I believe that out of all of the suffering and the pain and the fear and everything that we experienced on October 7th, I believe that we will see the best days of life here in Israel yet. And this is also a very, it's a very Christian concept, because if a grain of wheat doesn't fall to the ground and die, it remains alone. But if it falls to the ground and dies, then it bears much fruit. Now, this teaching, this frame of thought doesn't negate the death. It says, well, there is hardship, there is difficulty, there is pain, but there's also hope of growth after the pain. And so this is what I feel when I walk around in Jerusalem. I feel that we are different, but it is a good different. I hope this answers the question. Okay, let me find another one. All right. When we come to visit, is it safe to leave the hotel and walk around at night? Oh yeah, I was telling you guys about this before. Please leave your hotel at night and come walk around in Jerusalem. You can just get lost here, and look for the little tiny street corners and whatnot. And if it looks a little dark and even possibly a little shady, you don't have to be afraid. You could just go in and explore, and usually you'll find like this cool different restaurant, like tucked away somewhere way out there. And so it's such an experience. It's worth doing. Please leave your hotels at night and walk around the center of Jerusalem because it's amazing. And then I think I'll answer one more because I've been talking for way too long. Oh, how many days do we need to explore Jerusalem well? This is such a great question. Thank you so much. Listen, you can explore Jerusalem for a whole month and not have enough of it. I've been living here. I live in the Galilee, but I've been in Israel for about 16 years, and I come. Yes, you can. Come say hi. Oh. It's a live broadcast, actually.
Oh, yes?
Yes, to the States.
To the States?
Yes, all over.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm George.
Oh, George. Hey, shout out for George. I'm Rodrigo.
Rodrigo?
Yes.
Very nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. I'm from here.
You're from here?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Where do you live?
I live in the north.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in the Galilee.
Very nice.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You as well. All right. So what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So you can explore Jerusalem for like 30 days and it not be enough. But if you come with a group, between 3 and 4 days is usually like the ideal moment, the ideal time frame. If you come alone and you have time, I would recommend for you to be here for about a week. And then you do it with a guide for a few days, and you just go out and explore alone for a few days, and just go to the shuk, go to the market, go to the different cafes and restaurants, and then your experience will be complete. All right, my friends, this has gone on for way too long. Thank you so much for everybody that is hanging around, and we are waiting for you here in Jerusalem. As you can see, life is going on. The city is full of people, and you're the ones who are missing. So we're waiting for you. Our gratitude from the Amiel team and from Fellowship International to everyone who's been here. And now I'm waiting for you here in Jerusalem. Come and say hello. God bless you guys. Shalom.